All right. Who's on there? You in there, Brother Warren? Sucky. Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or eager living. We do so because we came from oppression with minds of weak and difficult. All right. Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye. I'm your host, Third Eye Optometrist, Patrice Gibbs, right here on WHGE 95.3 FM, the Education Advocacy Station. Let's get it started. I'm not even going to mess around with y'all. There's too much going on this week. All right. Look, one of the things that I often hear these politicians say is what the founding fathers intended. The founding fathers intended this. They intended, what is that? What is it? Oh, sucky. Oh, okay. There you go. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, what the founding fathers intended. They, according to the Constitution, the founding fathers didn't intend for this, and the founding fathers, well, you know what? The founding fathers didn't intend for black slaves to go free, nor did they intend for women to vote. And they didn't intend for anybody that didn't own land to vote. You know, this hero worship of these founding fathers is just not something I can go along with. And you know what? I'm going to tell you straight up, and I've said it before. These founding fathers were monsters. Anybody that will hold people in bondage for perpetuity is a monster. Oppression is one thing, but holding them in bondage for perpetuity and raping men, women, and children, because that's what they did, they were monsters. Oh, well, this was a Christian nation. No, it wasn't. Christianity is not the state religion. The religion of America from its founding is and always has been white supremacy. Don't get it mixed. This is who this country is. Elitists, racists, and I could go on and on that. All right. Good morning, Brother Vaughn. I think I might have already said that to you. It's all good. You know, well, the last stimulus package passed and checks are on their way. Now, what the right wing said, you know, if a person goes broke, they need to take some responsibility. It's their fault. You know, I used to work for a cat when I was in the printing industry who was a staunch right-wing Republican, had been so for decades. And we had a discussion once, and I asked him, I said, you know, what is it with the right wing that they have this hatred for poor people? Is that so? Is that really the case? Do right-wing people hate poor people? And a lot of them fools is poor their damn self. But anyway, I asked him the question, do Republicans, right-wingers hate poor people? He said, yes. Why? Well, because they're poor, and it's their fault. They made the decision to be poor. You know what? Is that the silliest crap you ever heard? If you go down the list of all the things people don't want to be, right there, right after sick and dead is poor. No one decides to be poor. We're in a land where corporations are driving people into poverty. And poverty isn't the result of the laziness of poor people. Poverty is the result of being unable to satisfy the greedy rich. It's like I tell you, you know, I said it several times, the pie analogy. The economy is like a pie with 10 slices. The elite, the 1%, take 8 of those slices and then turn around and tell poor white people that black man got your slice. Corporations go broke, which it don't happen. U.S. government, especially under the Republicans, hey, here's $1.9 trillion in tax cuts, 2 mega bailouts in 12 years, food stamps to subsidize your low-paid workers, billions to move your headquarters to our town. We've had that right here in Delaware. Delaware government were suckers. There was a Tesla moved in here, didn't make no damn cars, didn't provide employment for nobody, shut down and moved the hell out after they got our money. $4 trillion to prop up the stock market. I don't give a damn how well the stock market is doing. You know, poor people got no stock. You know, it's utterly embarrassing. I got this from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, no matter how I feel about her. I have some misgivings, but that's all right. But she said it's utterly embarrassing that pay people enough to live is a stance that's even up for debate. So you need to override the parliamentarian and raise the wage. You know, McDonald workers, and I said this last week, I didn't have the right country. McDonald workers in Denmark are paid $22 an hour. 6 weeks paid vacation. $15 an hour is a deep compromise, a big one, considering the phasing. And the thing is, like my brother Vaughn always reminds me, that this $15 minimum wage raise is not going to come boom like that when they do pass it. It's going to be gradual over a few years. That's just crazy. That minimum wage should be raised tomorrow. The next time you sign in to go to work, could you imagine you bust your butt for an hour and somebody come and give you $7.25. I put that money in my pocket and whoop his ass. You kidding me? Jeez Louise. You know, they say that Donald Trump has pretty much destroyed the Republican Party. No, he didn't. He wasn't the destruction of the Republican Party. He's the fulfillment of everything the party has been standing for decades. He just said it louder and more plainly than his predecessors and intra-party rivals. He just didn't hold back. He didn't dog whistle. He told you just what the hell a racist white supremacist in government feels. And that's the whole damn Republican Party and a lot of the Democratic Party. Don't get it mixed. Now, we got this mess going on, what they call it, council culture. You know, where things that might bother somebody, that might be, you know, offensive to some snowflake. It's a crime. It's a crime. They can pull Mr. Potato Head off the shelves, cancel some of Dr. Seuss's more racist books. And one of the craziest ones is they have demanded that Warner Brother cartoon Pepe Le Pew be taken off the air. You know why the right wing is talking about Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head, and Pepe Le Pew? Because they don't have a single policy proposal that would help anyone in the country other than the super rich. So they have to distract you with their BS culture wars. Meanwhile, we got over 200,000 people sleeping on the street in the richest country in the world. There are some 350,000 churches in America. So why are 200,000 people sleeping on the street? And then the church's job to take care of the downtrodden? Oh, I can't just put it on the church, though. Don't get that mixed. Oh, no. Put it on these selfish people. It's amazing the con job that the 1% has run on people, even some black people. It's amazing. Because they got people making $20 an hour arguing and supporting the 1% making $15,000 a second. And these people making $20 an hour arguing that people who want $15 an hour are socialists and unpatriotic. Man, that is amazing. People better wake up. Now, as a reminder, every single Republican voted against the $1,400 checks, the $3,600 tax credit per child, state aid to prevent layoffs, unemployment insurance, vaccination funding. The Republicans voted against all this, y'all. More affordable health care, funding to reopen schools. They voted against rent assistance. They voted against aid for restaurants and small businesses. Anything that's going to help people, they're, working people, they're against it. Now, while Trump was president, every Democrat voted for the $2 trillion CARES Act, even though doing so helped Trump. Their mindset was to help the people. Now Biden is president. 0 Republicans voted for the 1.9 trillion American relief plan because hurting Biden is much more important than helping Americans. But they'll tell you how damn patriotic they are. Jeez, it's amazing. Hold on, y'all. I got you. Don't you worry. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah. I'm right here. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, founders and builders of the Pearl Center, the veteran-specific apartment building. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware. The views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual. WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs, third eye optometrist and host. Listen, if I accidentally go into the wrong patient hospital room and get them the wrong medicine and kill them, I would lose my job. If I was a nurse, I would lose my nursing license and probably go to jail. What is the difference when a police officer making that mistake? Can somebody tell me the difference? You go into the wrong house, apartment, and kill some innocent person. How is it that you get desk duty, administrative leave, and you're not charged? And yesterday was the year anniversary of Breonna Taylor's murder. Oh, we have to say alleged murder because we're journalists on the air. Alleged murder. All the charges were dropped against her boyfriend, and well, they should have been. This man was defending his home and his woman when he shot that race soldier and died in his house. 310 years we worked in this country without a dime in return. I mean, without a dime in return. You let the white man walk around here talking about how rich this country is, but you never stop to think how it got so rich. It got rich because you made it rich. Not only did we give our free labor, we gave our blood. Every time he had a call to arms, we were the first ones in uniform. We died on every battlefield the white man had. We have made a greater sacrifice than anybody who's standing up in America today. We have made a greater contribution and have collected less. Civil rights for those of us whose philosophy is black nationalism means give it to us now. Don't wait for next year. Give it to us yesterday, and that's not fast enough. That's a quote from Malcolm X. Some 55 years ago. And here we are in the 21st century, still dealing with the issues of oppression and racism that were prevalent when I was born. I'll be 60 this year, and we're still dealing with this. You're not tired? I tell you what, let me pull this up right here. All right. This is from Dr. John E. Moore. He's the publisher of the San Diego Voice and Viewpoint. Black Americans must fight on all fronts. While some of us are spending our time watching the news or wondering how we are going to survive the pandemic, now is the time to understand the battles we are in and determine what we must do individually and collectively. Here are the issues. We must be clear that we support a conviction in the George Floyd murder trial. Nothing less is acceptable. We must voice our call for a conviction in all our media outlets. There can be no cover-up or acquittal. Two, we must look closely at each state that has a Republican governor or legislative majority seeking to pass voter suppression laws, such as limiting days and the times of voting, reducing ballot drops, and the number of precincts available in our community. We can't wait to litigate. We must follow the example of the state of Georgia and register every voter possible. Secure voter identification cards and help voters obtain them in advance of the state laws that are going to pass with Republican majorities in the legislatures, and organize voters against Republicans seeking office or re-election in 2022 so that they don't get a majority in the U.S. Congress or the U.S. Senate. Georgia set the example. Now let's follow it in every state. We must urge the passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, H.R. 1. The bill has passed the U.S. House of Representatives. We must now find the 5 or 10 votes needed in the Senate to add to the Democratic votes necessary for passage. Every Senate and congressional district has people seeking to replace the incumbent. We must find those people and support them if they support us. The late Julian Bond once said, "No permanent friends, no permanent enemies, just permanent interests." We must study the white nationalists and the Republicans who no longer care about the American people, only maintaining their white privilege at the expense of the rest of us. In the midst of this, we must reassess our spending habits and our loyalties. We must know who financially supports those who are against voter participation, those who support police unfair treatment of blacks in particular, and people of color in general, and those who oppose America helping the most needed and most vulnerable among us. It sounds like a big task, but we start where we live and build from there. Come on, let's get busy. Let's do this. See, one of the things that I trip out on is people say, well, your vote doesn't really matter because they decide before you even vote what's going to be what. Okay, if your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying so hard to keep you from voting. Understand that. This is the Open Eye, WHGE 95.3 FM, joining me on the air. My partner in consciousness, our intellectual surgeon, Nsoromma. What's up, brother? How you doing this morning?
Yeah. Yo, what's good, son?
Oh, this, that, and the other thing.
Coming up the highway listening to you.
Word.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Sound good. You know
thank you. That's word.
Yeah. What's up, world? What's up?
All right.
Everybody doing good, hopefully, and praying that you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, I asked a question
this
week on Facebook.
All right.
And the question was, why did the U.S. government destroy the Black Panthers, but didn't destroy the Nation of Islam?
Or the Ku Klux Klan?
Well, we know why they didn't destroy the Ku Klux Klan, but that's their,
I can
That's the people's.
I can say from what I see is, they terrified of us. I don't even want to say us as a people. I want to go deeper than that.
Okay.
I want to say us as individuals, as blacks, waking up and realizing it takes one at a time. A whole group won't change at the same time.
True.
So it has to start with you.
You
know what I'm saying? You have to realize that these are the people that's oppressing you. They come from all over to get our reparation. America has opened up the doors for other nationalities and other people to come and invade on our reparations and our hard work and still not give it to us. So, and putting the Black Panthers was all about the community and the people.
Right.
And they don't want that.
True.
They definitely will dismantle that.
Yeah.
I mean, Farrakhan and Nation of Islam, they're about the same thing, but it was a different level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they want the same thing, but it's a different level. When you got a person that say, okay, I want to do this and I want to build this and I want to sit it here. And then you got a person that go, I want to own the land you building it on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the difference in the groups. And that's why they attacked the Black Panthers so much, because we wanted our own everything.
You know what? You right on point here. Okay. And because this thing is really deep. All right. I'm not going to downgrade or specifically speak against the Nation of Islam. But I will say this. The Nation of Islam is insular. Okay, and when I say that, what I mean is it has a tendency to be within its own. Okay, yes, Minister Farrakhan is a very astute social observer and analyst.
Right.
The thing is, the Nation of Islam is not a threat. The Nation of Islam was not a threat before Malcolm. When Malcolm came along, that's when the U.S. looked at the Nation of Islam and they said, hey, we got to do something about this cat. Because if he takes over the Nation of Islam, the Nation of Islam will become a threat. Because the Nation of Islam was really a spiritual movement, not so much a political movement. Malcolm was political. And Malcolm's thing was, look, we're going to change the whole paradigm. That made him dangerous.
Right.
Once they took out Malcolm, see, they worked hard to separate Malcolm from the Nation of Islam. Because what the U.S. government did was they infiltrated the Nation of Islam. And they made sure that the schism between Malcolm X and Elijah Muhammad was not repaired. They sent fake letters from Malcolm to Elijah Muhammad and fake letters from Elijah Muhammad to Malcolm. Okay.
Well, I'm saying, why do you think this is still being applied and still being pressurized to the Black people right now?
Okay. Well, let me tell you about the Panthers. Okay. Here's the thing about the Panthers. Let's take a look at Fred Hampton in particular.
Right.
Okay. The Panthers were feeding people. Okay. You want to have a movement that is successful, provide 4 things for the people. Okay. Food, clothing, shelter, and economic opportunity.
Right.
Okay. Now the Panthers started out with these programs, free breakfast. If you're the U.S. government and you have a segment of your population dependent on you to eat, and that population produces a group within that population that says, hey, you don't have to depend on the U.S. government to eat. We're going to feed you.
Or we're going to help you. It ain't,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the help, that it's the take of the pressure, the release of some of that pressure that you have as that single parent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was more about the forward motion of our people. And anytime you see a forward motion, progress, building up energy and building up, the momentum to actually bring a change. You can talk change all day.
But bring it?
Right, but then to bring it and to manifest it and to really
make it happen.
Right. I mean, I'm coming to get you because you get ready to mess with my money.
Right. You get ready to mess with my slaves.
Right. That's my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes you dangerous.
Right.
Because if the people no longer have to depend on the powers that be to eat, then next they're not going to depend on the powers that be for education.
What about
and they're really going to get
slave? What about if every slave just woke up like, bah, and said, yo, all right, I'm done doing this. You ain't putting me in slavery no more. Matter of fact, I want to be paid for the work I did. Give me my money right now. And if you can't give it to me, I'm going to work out on you. I'm going to take all this stuff right here. I'm going to take what I think is worth my work. And that's what they scared of.
Yes. And they prepared for that.
Of course they are. They call it zombie.
Yeah,
they're giving you the needle to turn you into the zombie so they can.
Well, more than that, but they instituted, though it never has been implemented, but they instituted the King Alfred plan, Rex 84.
Yeah,
where if these black people get out of hand.
And what is that? What is get out of hand? Explain how they can insert that Rex 84.
Well, if, like I said, these black people get out of hand in the sense that, one, they take over the economics of their community. That's the big one right there. They take over the education of their community. We're trying. Okay? This makes them dangerous.
Wow.
And so what they will do is they will turn our communities basically into concentration camps. See, our communities are surrounded by freeways, which means that the government has easy access to our communities.
Of course, they can just get off the highway and put a gate around all of that.
That's right.
Begins or lock it down. It's very easy to be done. It hasn't been done here in Wilmington.
It has been done here in Wilmington.
So they can lock
Wilmington down in
10 minutes and you cannot leave.
That's right.
So, I mean, when you're dealing with this type of organization, this is a big organization that's global. And you had
global white supremacy.
Right. You had 8 Black Panthers. How many was it? 8, 9? It wasn't a super organization like that. You know what I'm saying? And you were scared of these couple people. And then you try to make example out of them by killing them and going, okay, if anybody else come up in the leadership and want to do this, you're going to get it too.
That's right.
Doing the same thing that the racist slave plantation owner was doing to the families that was picking the cotton. You know, that gets me. They get under my skin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that. And like I said, see, the thing is, this is why the Panthers were dangerous. Because not only were they waking people up, but they were putting things in place that were the seeds of revolution. They were feeding the people, they were educating the people, they were clothing the people. The next step was to provide economic opportunity.
That's right.
And that made them very, very dangerous. Now, like I said,
but that's enough money to go around. How can you be greedy like that? You press money every day.
Yeah.
The more money that you're making in the society is the better, I would think.
You would think so.
Especially if you're making your own money, such as it feels good for you to get up and actually go to work, do your whatever, however many hours, and then at the end of the week you get your paycheck and you feel satisfied about how much money you make.
Right.
And you have enough to pay your bills and buy your fun. You know what I'm saying? And most of us as Americans don't have that. We living in poverty. We struggling and wondering how and when the next time we gonna get some money. And we already in debt, owing $3,000 on the electric bill. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's set up to keep us effed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
and to keep us dependent.
Right. I mean, it's designed to. So we have to snap that. We have to go. Okay, I can go over here and get it work for myself or get a job. I mean, we have to snap that. Only way you get out of that is if you get out of it. And that's why I was saying that
we make it happen.
Right. It has to be an individual thing. It has to start with yourself.
Right.
And as I see my brother need help, I help my brother, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and then it becomes back like it was. Because I'm physically talking to you, I'm next to you, right? I'm helping you. You know what I'm saying? Let
me break it down for y'all. What Nsoromma is telling you. All right, revolution is change. You want to start a revolution? Start at home. If your revolution doesn't start in the mirror, you BSing, you half stepping. It's not real.
Right.
Revolution starts in your heart and mind before you can expand it to your community
and soul.
And soul, for your heart, mind, and soul, before you can expand it to your community. Revolution starts here. It starts at home.
You know what Farrakhan said? I was listening to him the other day. He was like, yo, the interview was like, you ain't scared that you want they gonna come get you, they gonna kill you. And he went on to say, they killed my brother Malcolm, they killed my brother Martin. And you think I'm gonna be stupid enough to let that happened to me? You know what I'm saying? And because the question arises because he had a bunch of bodyguards, and he was like, okay, the president had bodyguards. You know, all these Queen Elizabeth had bodyguards. All these important people have bodyguards. I'm an important person for my people, so why can't I have bodyguards?
Yeah, you know okay, and I could go along with that, but here's my thing.
I was just the racist thought in that, in the act of him asking that question.
No, I understand that. Okay. I understand that. Okay. But here's the thing. Okay. Like I said, Minister Farrakhan is a very, very astute social observer. One of the most brilliant orators in modern times. I mean, this brother can get something said. Okay. But Louis Farrakhan is not a threat. Because the Nation of Islam, like I said, is insular. Okay? The Nation of Islam looks after the Nation of Islam. Beyond that, they are not really bringing it to the people and have not in a long, long time.
You have to become a part of their affiliation.
Right.
And that's what I don't like
about
it. If you want to help us, help us.
Right. And I'm going to tell you something. Respect to the Nation of Islam with their rehab program. Okay? That's hard to beat. As far as turning people around from a life of crime and drugs and what have you, their rehab program is really, really stellar and stand out. The thing is, you have to join the nation,
right,
to be part of that program.
Have to be a member to be helped.
To be helped.
If I got, you'll never help the people that needs it with that.
No,
with that in the forefront. Here, be a member, and I got you. Get out of here. You sound worse than them. America. Because,
of course, with being a member, you have to adhere to this.
You just can't help people, man, without wanting something.
Right.
I mean,
you have to adhere to their religion and to their spirituality.
Just help. That's it.
That's it.
Go here. There you go. You okay? You sure? Okay. Glad I can be of help. And you'll be blessed more by it. I mean, it's just crazy how everything is designed to be manipulated to get money, and we have been so brainwashed to trust this in God. We trust us on paper instead of in God. We trust us in the sky. That it has changed all of the moralism. That's in my slang dictionary. Moralism. Every person, you know what I'm saying?
Write that down. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma.
WHGE.
95.3 FM. Yeah. In the building.
All right.
What's good, homie?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, hey, yo, Sherry, boy, yo, I see you in there. Sadiq, what's good? Hey, yo, Leonard, thanks for tuning in, too. Yo, what's good? You know we do what we do. We doing it right now. Ain't nothing. I'm going to go invite a couple people to the job.
Provide veterans specific housing, intensive case management, and supportive services since 2009. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets was founded by veterans to help veterans. We understand the needs and work well with military and veterans cultures, normally misunderstood.
Hey, yo, Hum Diggity, you want some good food? Check out Hum Diggity's Chester's. My man, he got everything.
Homeless veterans
For real. Soul food, everything, seafood, even too.
Incorporated Veteran Transition Program.
Yeah.
HBRP and IVTC are the only programs that focus exclusively on competitive employment for homeless veterans to provide job training, counseling, and job placement services, including job readiness, literacy, and skills training to expedite re-entry veterans in the workforce. Contact the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets at dchv.org or call our office at 691-7411. That's 302-691-7411. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the open eye.
Yep.
Patrice Gibbs,
What's going on, man?
bringing it to you.
Sherry, what's up? Hey, yeah, I know the NOI, you know, they structured it where, you know, they in their religion, you have to do what they tell you to do. That's all a part of becoming a member, so they can be able to
monitor you,
right? And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
just not with that. I don't get involved with the invisible sky wizard. You know, yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Some people understand, some people don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, I always talk about how poor whites are chickens voting for Colonel Sanders.
Right.
You know, the Confederacy was a con job on white people, and guess what? It still is. You know, they fly that Confederate flag, and that flag symbolizes for black. What that flag symbolizes for blacks is enough reason to take it down. But so there's another reason that white Southerners shouldn't fly it, or sport it in our state-issued license plates, or as some do in North Carolina. You know, the Confederacy and the slavery that spawned it was also one big con job on Southern white working class people, a con job funded by the 1% of their time.
Right.
Okay? And what they did was they told white people, you know, if we free the slaves, they're going to take your job. You damn fool, they already got your job and they're working for free. You moron. It's the same crap now. Just like I said earlier with the pie analogy.
Right.
You know, the thing they do is, you know, they convince poor and working class whites that any gains made by black people is detrimental to them.
Right.
What they've fallen into, the trap that working class and poor white people have fallen into, is that it's easier on us if we don't have any competition from black people. That's called white privilege. Okay? Now, what they will tell you is, I know everything's free and equal, and there is no such thing as white privilege. Okay? Oh, you think there's no white privilege? Let me see you do some stuff white people do. For instance, the cop pull you over and you cuss his ass out and call him all kind of names, and you get to leave with a warning and not a ticket. The black person do the same thing, they're gonna pull him out the car, beat the living hell out of him, and probably kill him.
Right. That isn't even going through that white person head when he pulled out that car.
That's right.
When he hit his lights for black people, it's automatically a death situation. And, and that shouldn't be. That is the main reason why, these police should be more of aware of how they treat people. Because once it flipped and you hit them lights and that particular person may be on go from y'all killing his brother or his sister before, you pull him over and they get out the car and start shooting at your car without you knowing nothing, and you can be a good cop. I mean, they have to really get it together, man, with this law and these race soldiers that's trying to, still play this role as the black people or the product of society that's running. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? That's it's a difference. Yeah, it's okay them shooting AKs and stuff in a ghetto community, pointing it at themselves.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
When they flip it around, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem
for real.
And that's only going to bring about Rex 84. They did try to bring about Rex 84.
Right.
They did try to get black people upset enough so that they could implement Rex 84. And I tell you when they did it. In Louisiana, in New Orleans, when Katrina hit. And they treated black people as if they were refugees from another country. And all of us remember seeing right on the news, black bodies floating down the flooded rivers in New Orleans. Now, they let you see that.
They was letting you know that.
Yeah.
Look, we can go to the moon, but we ain't gonna help them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Who are they?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
When they was in the astronaut.
Let them N-words die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I mean,
and that should have upset us to the point where we went off. To the point where we went off and started rioting and revolutionary and rebellion.
I mean, we don't even have to do all of that. We only just have to simply stop messing with them. And start messing with our own stuff. Start supporting your brothers. We don't have to riot. We don't have to do none of that. The only thing we have to do is wake up the next day and say, I'm not supporting anything
other than my own.
Right. Of my oppressor. I'm not supporting it, period. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? We tried that. Because look, you go through our history. Right? We say, hey, look, we can't do this slavery thing no more. The country is like, yeah, no, man, because it's messing up the economy and half of us can't be,
we
can't be half
slaves have to be black. I mean, it was slaves.
Oh, well,
it was different color slaves, but then they diverted from being every kind of slave or every color slave to just the black being the underclass one. How was that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you how.
And we come from being the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you how.
That's crazy.
In the 1600s, there was a middle-class farmer named Bacon. I don't have his first name in front of me.
Right.
Okay. Now, Bacon, on his plantation, he paid everybody. And he was in competition, of course, with the bigger plantations. And he saw with them getting free labor, they had black slaves, black indentured servants. That's the difference between a slave and an indentured servant. An indentured servant is someone who has a contract with the person that he works for, and at the end of that contract, he's free.
Right.
There were white indentured servants. Now, all these indentured servants, as well as the slaves, were being oppressed. And what Bacon did was he said, look, he said to the white indentured servants, to the blacks, because they worked side by side and they had some relationships.
Right.
Okay. He said, look, if you white indentured servants, black indentured servants, and black slaves join forces, we can turn this thing around. We can bring an end to this oppression. And they almost took over Virginia. Okay. But of course, the whites had the finances and the arms to finally put the rebellion down. It was called Bacon's Rebellion. Okay. And when they did, what they realized was we can never again allow poor whites and blacks to join forces. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop indentured servitude. So that ended whites working as almost slaves. Right.
Right.
Okay. And we're going to end black indentured servitude and just make it black slavery. Now, what we're going to do with you poor whites is we're going to give you the impression that one day you can join the ranks of the rich elite if you work hard enough.
Right.
That's a crime.
Right.
Okay. And what they did was they gave them a little piece of land, a little money, and they gave them jobs overseeing the blacks. And they told them, look, don't make camaraderie with these black people because that's going to bring you down. And you'll never make it to the level that we're on, and that your white privilege will be damaged by your association with these blacks.
Right.
And they ran that game on them all the way up through the Revolutionary War,
right,
all the way up through the Civil War, all the way up through Jim Crowism, right up into modern times.
Wow.
You know, one of the worst things that happened to public discourse was Fox News, because they kept that white elitist, white privilege message going, convincing working class white people that the worst thing you could do was be involved with black people.
Wow.
And that's what a lot of them to this day believe. Now, couple that with the vilifying of black people, and then you bring in the hatred, the dehumanization of black people. Because that's what they say. We're not human.
Right. If they say we're not human, why are you trying to make us go by all the things and all the laws that you guys have put in place for humans?
Right.
So it don't apply.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So,
but see, when you're not human, it's okay to kill you.
Yeah.
Because you're not human, so it's okay to offer.
Right. So I don't go get jail time or it ain't even look like I killed something.
Right.
That's why they treat a dog better than a black
That's
person.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
right.
right.
An animal, we're compared to animals.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not true.
Of course not. Of course not.
You
and
know?
see, this is the propaganda.
Right.
You know? So like you said, you know, if they treat you worse than a dog.
Right.
They give a damn, they give more of a damn about a dog than they do a person.
Definitely. They take the dog to the hospital and watch you die.
And watch you die.
And almost suffocate you and kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And God forbid you kill a dog. Michael Vick.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's crazy how the structure of this so-called America is so damaging to the human mental, you know, that it's like if you don't wake yourself up for real, you can be around people that's trying to wake you up and you don't hear it, and then you're forced to still be in the structure of the game, as in playing the Monopoly, because we're the real living Monopoly in America. We're the ones. Black people are the Monopoly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
see, like I was bringing, all right. Let's do our own thing. Right. So after slavery, we was like, okay, we ain't want to be slaves no more. Right. You know, we got out of that, this, that, and the other. All right, leave us alone. Okay, we're going to participate in the political discourse and the political system here. And you know, so we had the Reconstruction days after the Civil War, but whites said, nah, we can't really let you participate like that. We said, okay, all right, we won't participate. Just leave us alone. They said, all right, just let us do our own thing. We'll build our own communities and this, that, and the other. But being the resilient people and the skilled people that we are, when we build our own communities in Wilmington, North Carolina, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and other places, it's like, oh, wait a minute. You're going a little too far and you're a little too successful, so we're going to take you down. All right. So we was like, whoa, damn, we just trying to do our thing.
When we should have killed them.
Yeah. You know?
That's what I mean.
But we were outnumbered. And
I would rather die than be tortured.
Yeah, I heard that.
Just that simple.
Yeah.
I would rather die than to be tortured. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And if we ain't living in that mentality, it'll never change, because we have to look at it like these people are torturing us. We're being tortured right now.
See, not enough of us are in a place where we feel we have nothing to do. See that. Well, see,
life is the blessing of everything, because it can change.
But we don't feel that. See, we don't feel that. We don't feel that we have nothing, because that's the most dangerous person in the world. It's the person that says, you know what?
I got something to live for.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Harriet Tubman said that she had determined that either she was going to be free or she was going to be dead.
Exactly. It's no gray area in that.
There's no gray area in that.
To her? She's free.
She's free.
And she freed a lot of other people
and
also. With the willpower that she had for herself, she gave it to other people. She didn't ask you to become a member.
No.
She said, do you want to be free?
But here's the thing. Okay? Harriet Tubman also said, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew that they were slaves.
Right. And see, a lot of people don't even know.
Right.
Right. So that's how bamboozled they are. That's what Malcolm means by bamboozled. You are bamboozled to the fact so much that you think you okay where you are.
Right. But then you have those, right? And then you have those that know that they're slaves.
And don't want to leave.
And don't want to leave the plantation.
I mean, you got all structures and obstacles of the not want to go or the afraid to leave.
Right.
But that's what I mean. They have scared. They have did that.
Yeah.
They scared that into you.
Yes, they did.
We were born with hearts of warriors from our ancestors. So it ain't too much we scared of. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And it's a lot that we can take. So it's just we have to wake up starting individually one at a time and just go like that virus they try to hit us with. We have to spread that like the virus they hit us with. If it's not
you heard, because our time running out, bro.
All the time.
You heard Oprah Winfrey's interview.
Which one?
With the Prince and Princess. Was it Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? Yeah. Well, I got this one. This brother Johnny Jackson said he didn't watch the interview. I didn't either. So I'm right on him, or right there with him. He said, I'm troubled by this celebrity culture that we live in. I don't believe Meghan and Harry are or have been in what we understand as desperate distress. They're not deep in distress, even though we know that the royals, they might off Meghan. They off allegedly off Princess Diana. I don't believe they are hard pressed for any services, resources, or financial support. They seem to want the accoutrements of the royals, which would allow them extreme wealth and accommodations above just being wealthy, but not the culture that goes with it. I get it. But the so-called royals are an archaic relic of oppression and colonialism that one once boasted the sun never sets on the British Empire. All the wealth of the royals is founded on blood of the innocents. Now, this was real controversial this week, and this, that, and the other. Okay? And what we had was this Piers Morgan, whatever he is, defending the royals. How racist, I had it written down. What'd I do with it? What? It's all good. How racist, because one of the things that came up was, Meghan Markle, who's 1/4 black or half black or whatever she is. So her child would have been 1/4 black. Okay? One of the royals asked, well, what if the child comes out dark? I mean, it comes out black. Is he still going to be royal? How racist do you have to be that you concerned about the skin color of somebody whose racial makeup is 1/4 black? Okay, so, you know, all these pundits and this, that, and the other, what's the name? Sharon Osbourne defended this Piers Morgan dude and what have you and said, you know, she don't understand. She don't understand. You know, what is this racism thing about? Why is it people upset about it? Okay, Sherry broke it down. She said it's not the job of the oppressed to teach the oppressors anything. And this Sharon has no right to demand to be taught a damn thing. That's word. Okay? And that's for these people being royal. These severely inbred people who were in the dark ages for 1,000 years, getting bathed, digging and scratching from pubic lice, dripping menstrual cycle blood all over the damn place.
Yeah.
Walking around in rivers of feces. Yeah. Screwing men, women, and children and animals, spreading disease, robbed and pillaged enough, and then got the audacity to say they're royal.
I am royal.
Ain't that a blip? Oh, something else before we get out of here, too.
What's that, my brother?
Stacey Dash apologized for being a Negro King dead wench.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah, she's sorry that she acted like that, and she was angry, and this, that, and the other. You know, run around saying ain't no racism, and black people are stupid.
Really?
And
Really?
oh, yeah. Let me tell you something, Stacey. Don't bring your ass down to the barbecue. You cannot come to the cookout no more. We pulled your card.
No more chicken.
No more chicken. No more chicken. And damn sure don't pull your ass up to the spade game. Because I am not going to be your spade partner. So don't come up there with that. You are no longer welcome at the cookout. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
The Open Eye.
WHGE 95.3 FM.
And like I always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. Thanks for joining us.
Yaga.
Right.
Kings. Y'all already Eddie Spaghetti. Y'all know what it is. Nsoromma, Thomas, and Pizzat, the game. That thing with Nsoromma said. Alright.
He said that thing with Nsoromma said.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Stuff.
All right.
Oh, what's up? Yo, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. You dig what I'm saying? Say, boy, yo, be with us all the way through. Yo, Thomas is in the building. You're doing his thing. Yo, Jay, good looking now. And yo, keep tuning in. Hey, yo, big up to, Nsoromma spinning everywhere.
Smire on there with you.
Streaming service. Nsoromma. You dig me? Get some good music and some energy. Huh?